Executive Brief. Executive Brief.
My good people of Abia State, it is my honor and pleasure to address
From the seat of governance in Abia, God's own state, comes a compendium of the governor's weekly engagement in the service to humanity and God.
This government is in its second and final tenure, and therefore we are in a hurry to gain traction and achieve what our mandate the people have given to us and defined for us as assignment.
Join the Chief Press Secretary to Abia State Governor Onyebuchi Imemanka on Flow 94.9 FM as he tracks Governor Ikpeazu's activities in delivering on the social contract with the good people of Abia State.
We have received awards and acknowledgement as the SME capital of Nigeria in recent times.
Executive Brief.
Every Friday at 9:30 a.m.
on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. Executive Brief from the horse's mouth.
There is now a deliberate effort to ensure that our infrastructure is solid and durable.
As the dry season sets in, the caterpillars have been rolled out. It is the era of the caterpillar revolution. Reports of road rehabilitation and construction have been heard from various parts of Abia State, while some are reportedly ready for commissioning. It is the Executive Brief, a live simulcast on Flow 94.9 FM, Umuahia, and Real 99.9 FM, Real 99.1 FM, Abba. This program is brought to you courtesy of the Office of the Chief Press Secretary to Abia State Government. It is ably occupied by Barrister Onyebuchi Imemanka, who is right here in the studio for interactions. Glad to have you back on the show.
Yeah, TC, thank you very much. I missed it the last week. Work took me out, but my colleague did justice to it that day. It's good to be here again.
Well, we'll start off with the grand rally that was held in Umuahia. The grand rally that was held in Umuahia ahead of the local government elections in Abia State. That's supposed to be this month.
Yeah, 18th of December. And you
Governor handed over flags to all the aspirants on the PDP platform.
Democracy.
That would have been a tasking work, right?
Democracy is beautiful. You know that day we came straight from Abuja.
Okay.
We landed at the airport and headed straight for that event. The previous day, you recall, the president had a meeting with all the 36 governors.
Yeah.
All of them were there. We were there at the presidential villa, and the governors met with the president over the issue of insecurity. You know that insecurity has been on the increase in the northeast, people being slaughtered, and then there are rumors and threats here and there of another wave of NSAS protests.
Okay.
So the president gathered the governors. It was an impromptu. In fact, that day, the Inspector General of Police was supposed to come to Abia State to commission the brand new Zone 9 headquarters, and then our CPAMs and some other security efforts being made by this administration. All was set for his visit. Very early that morning, a notification came from Abuja that the president has called an emergency meeting of the governors. So we left for Abuja.
So that commissioning that was thwarted was as a result of the emergency.
Oh, sure. Because
it took social media became agog with the fact that it was on part of neglect, because the Inspector General of Police visited Ebonyi State on that day.
As a matter of fact, even the Ebonyi State governor was in Abuja. I saw him; he was there for the meeting. So I don't know. There's no way the governor of Abia State will receive a personal invitation from the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for a meeting, and he's here hosting the IG. It doesn't work that way.
All right. During the week, the governor,
and yes, the flag handing over ceremony. You know, Abia people should remember that Ikpeazu is in his 5th year in office as governor. Okay. And this is the second local government elections he's conducting. He's not up to 6. He will be 6 years by June next year. And that tells you that he has done 2 local government elections. What it means is that 1 local government election in 3 years, in every 3 years. And these elected local government chairmen and councillors have what's it called? Have a tenure of 2 years each. 2 years. So if in 5 years plus, 5.5 years, he has done 2 local government elections, it's a record, my brother. We have never seen it in Abia State before. Conducting elections at the local government level has significant implications for our democracy. It takes democracy down to the grassroots. You elect councillors. As we speak now, campaigns are on. People are feeling the heat of democracy. Councillors are going around in their wards. And you know these wards are the closest to the people. Campaigning, meetings are being held. These are the things that make democracy interesting. Okay? And if one interesting thing that we have done, or the governor has done this time, is that 80%, if not 90%, of the chairmanship candidates are very young people. Very, very young people. In fact, if you see these people, all they throw with 5 years. So the governor is opening up this democratic space for young people. If you see the deputy chairmanship candidate in Ikpeazu, one young boy, Cookie, that is small boy. The chairmanship candidate in Abanot, a young boy. Prince Ikone, very young boy. And it's like that almost all over. You go to Munnoch, the deputy chairmanship candidate there is a young boy in his late 20s. This is we have never seen this kind of thing before. I know when these chairmen are elected, they will appoint PAs, they will appoint different kinds of people to work with them. So Ikpeazu is deepening democracy in Abia State. The opposition have no answer to this. You know, they cooked up one law, one funny.
I was about going to.
You remember what I told you the last time I came here when you raised this issue? I told you that interim order will naturally fizzle out, and it has.
So you don't think there's going to be any problem?
No. The court yesterday vacated the order. The court has vacated the order, and it was instituted by the APC. The court has vacated the order, so elections will fly on the 18th.
But what do you think about the preparations of the opposition?
I don't know. They do their own politics on social media. The governor, you saw what happened in Umuahia that day. Everywhere was blocked. Every part of the state, all the 17 local governments came to Umuahia for their candidates to receive flags. We are busy campaigning. They are busy doing Facebook and Twitter. When we beat them now, they will cry.
But the governor also tweets.
Yes, he tweets and walks. They are only tweeting. And the governor said, as we go into this election, if your own work is on Twitter, put your poster there. If your own work is on Facebook, put your poster there. But those of us, the ruling PDP, will put our posters on the things we have done across the state.
All right, during the week, the governor delivered a proposed 21 appropriation bill.
Yes.
131 billion naira.
Absolutely.
Just to take a look at the bill and what it was like last year, how would you marry the both?
Well, you know, last year or this year now,
okay,
we had 2 budgets this year. The first budget
and
the adjusted budget. The adjustment came in view of the realities of the COVID-19. You know, when COVID-19 came, it became imperative across the globe. You know, there was a global economic readjustment, you know, to face realities. Revenues took a downward, drive, a nosedive. Oil revenues plummeted. So there was need for governments across the world to readjust. Even at the federal level, the federal government sent in an adjusted budget. So this year's budget of 131.8 billion is 20% higher than the current adjusted budget of 2022.
Okay.
And the governor called it a budget of local content, and it's a budget that is giving emphasis to local production. And one significant thing that is going to happen this year is that in 7 local governments where the governor is test running, what was it called now? Agro-based industries. The equipment which the state government ordered from India to set up these machines have arrived the state. So in 7 different local governments, there will be an establishment of 7 agro-allied small-scale cottage industries.
7.
Yes, 7 in different local governments.
In 17, that's 7 times 17.
No. 7 in 7 local government. One in each.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a pilot.
Okay.
And from there we'll build. Now what is going to happen is that each local government is going to get a cottage, a small scale cottage industry that tries to maximize their natural advantages. For instance, in places where we have rice, okay, in Bende, Isukwato, they already have rice mills there. Government has established rice mills there. Now, in places where there is a large prospect of cassava production, they will get a cassava processing machine, that kind of thing. So
what are the possibilities of reviving oil milling in Abia State?
It is part, I think 2 out of the 5, 2 out of the 7 that have arrived, the equipment have arrived.
Oil milling.
Oil mills.
Because it used to be a mainstay for Southeast State.
Absolutely. And you know that due to the diplomatic economic shuttles of and engagements of Governor Ikpeazu, the federal government has approved the reactivation and the resuscitation of the Ogwe golden chicken farms.
Yeah.
Now, from there, the next target is to completely rehabilitate and resuscitate Abia palm. Okay. Remember that at some point in our history as a country, oil palm was accounting for a greater part of our revenue.
Exactly.
So remember too that Governor Ikpeazu funded, the state government through the governor funded the planting of 4 million tenera oil palm trees. Those things are growing. People think they are growing. You can imagine out of the 4 million, let us even assume that 500,000 die. We have like 3.5 million tenera trees. And when these things start fruiting, when these trees begin to fruit, in fact, Ikpeazu is laying a very solid foundation for an economic resurgimento in Abia State. You can take that to the bank.
Economic resurgimento.
Absolutely.
That's Latin. 94.9 on the frequency modulated band. The live simulcast on Real 99.1 FM about. It is executive brief. And of course, none other to talk about the activities of the executive governor of Abia State, Dr. Okezie Victor Ikpeazu, than his chief press secretary. You can call him the mouthpiece of the government. Well, away from the budget proposal and presentation, of course, the governor has said that he's hoping that the House of Assembly can pass this into law, and he is emphasizing that he expects the 2021 budget to contain only implementable and critical projects which, when complemented or completed, will significantly address current structural challenges of the economy, improve the business environment, and accelerate economic recovery. He's one person who has been very concerned about road construction, and as such, criticisms in recent times as to poor state of roads with the state government have come out to say that most of these roads that have been called to question are federal government roads. The governor issued a statement that he was going to engage the federal government and, of course, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency to do something on this road. Otherwise, the state government was going to go in and get it done with a timeline. Reports from parts of Abia State says there is heavy inflow of heavy-duty equipment. Chief Press Secretary said Aba Road was clogged. It was a traffic menace. And some people say, why are you stopping, why are you constituting a hold up on the roads? Only for us to realize that road constructions and reconstructions and rehabilitations had started across the state. Aba Road, let's start off from there, closest to us.
There is an explosion of road construction in the state as we speak today. I use the word explosion deliberately. As I speak to you today, we are active on about 20 sites. Right now,
At the moment.
Aba Road, that one is right before your eyes here. You are seeing it from Uchenna Junction down into the Umuahia town. It's receiving attention. They are still working as I speak right now. Okay.
Talking about Aba Road, is it possible to have managed it to avoid traffic?
Well, you cannot make omelets without breaking eggs. That's the situation. What do you do? The road has to be fixed. So if we have to endure the small traffic challenge so that the road can be fixed. Go to Lagos and see traffic. There's no traffic here. You got Lagos, no traffic. You get Equate. Okay? So people simply have to adjust. It is a sacrifice we must make as a people so that these roads can be fixed. My brother, if you go to Aba today, or practically all nooks and crannies of Aba have become overtaken by the Ikpeazu caterpillar revolution.
Why wait until now?
Rainy season. The dry season. You know, this year has been extremely, we witnessed an extraordinarily long rainy season. You don't do roads in the rainy season. You don't.
Did the pandemic also affect it?
Of course it did. For instance, the Ngwa Road project, which is a World Bank project.
Okay.
Because it has a heavy dose of foreign content. Most of the equipment, most of the contractors are coming from outside the country. They couldn't start. We lost about 4 months in that project. Everything was set. Money was in place. But the people couldn't move in. Both the personnel and equipment couldn't move in because there was a global ban on international travels, just like you know. But as I speak to you today, my brother, equipment have rolled into Ngwa Road. Equipment has rolled into Ngwa Road. For the first time in about 29 years, Ngwa Road is receiving attention.
29 years?
Yes, even more than that. Ask anybody. As a matter of fact, no administration in Abia State has entered Ngwa Road before to do any work.
What's the challenge?
The challenge is funds. The resources required. I did a post this morning about it. The resources required to fix Ngwa Road is massive. It's mind-boggling. It requires a governor that
scared.
Yes, because for you to effectively handle Ngwa Road, first, Ngwa Road has flood challenges.
Okay.
Ngwa Road has other environmental challenges. Refuse disposal. Now there are 2 major roads within Ngwa Road that you cannot fix Ngwa Road except you do them simultaneously. Obohia and Ohanko.
So are those roads receiving?
Oh, their work is on now. So like I called it, it is a triumvirate strategy. Obohia work is on as I speak. Ohanko work is on as I speak. Those who live around Ohanko, along Ohanko, have long forgotten development. And it's been like that for over 30 years. So I know what I'm saying. Ikpeazu is on that road now. He's on Obohia. Ngwa Road has started. Work has started on Orata. Orata is the place where you have the old Ndiegoro water disaster, which even defied the efforts of Mbakwe then, that is between 17 and 83, before he left. Mbakwe, with all he did, he couldn't manage the Ndiegoro flood disaster. Today, Ikpeazu is doing an underground tunnel under this World Bank project. Orata will be done end to end. From Orata by Express up to Orata by Port Harcourt Road. And it will flow from there, from Port Harcourt Road Junction by Orata, into number 1 Port Harcourt Road, down into Ngwa Road by East. It's a massive infrastructural intervention, never seen in the history of Abia State.
I thought you would have mentioned something about Osisioma Junction. Because
I'm coming. Okay. We are taking it one after the other. That's
particularly of interest to me because of the fact that it's a federal government road.
Yes.
And that flyover has been constructed at that point.
Now let me say this. As we speak, work is on at Osisioma flyover.
Oh really?
You know that the major part of that work had already been done. The structure is standing. What is remaining is the sand filling of the descenders. Okay? The descenders.
Yes.
Where
rising and falling.
Absolutely. As we speak, the sand filling, the Chinese contractors told us clearly that they cannot do that sand filling during the rainy season. Money had been given to them like 3 months ago for that part of the job. They said, if you do this sand filling in the rainy season, this thing will collapse. Allow us, let the dry season come. The dry season has come, the sand filling has commenced. It is there now. In fact, I will be there this weekend, and I hope to do some live videos so that people can see. Okay? So, the teaching hospital road that gave us a lot of headache, work has started.
Would you say it's as a result of some of those criticisms on social media?
Absolutely not.
So these were plans in motion.
Let me tell you, that teaching hospital road, the drainage system have long been done, end to end, on both sides. So a government that has finished the drainage system of a road like 5-6 months ago has plans to fix that road. In the next few weeks, that road will come back to life. Or that road is not even coming back to life because it has always been like that. That road will spring up to the delight of our people.
What a choice of word.
Now, Osusu Road, you know, cement technology was applied on Osusu Road end to end.
Yes.
What is remaining is asphalting.
It will still be.
By next week, asphalting will indeed before the end of January. Let me extend it to that. Before the end of January, Osusu Road will come out in a way it has never been seen since after Mbakwe. My brother, unfortunately, there are people who simply don't want to see. And you know, like I always say, life is difficult for the blind. You know, blind people deserve our collective mercy and compassion. The sheer quantum of work going on in Aba today is unprecedented. Abowore Road is receiving attention. Okigwe Road will be re-asphalted. Do you know that from Umuenge Junction at Umuoba, they are doing stone base now from Umuenge to Obikabia. Obikabia Junction is the Isialangwa Junction on the express. Stone base has started. After stone base, it will now be asphalted. Now from Umuenge down to Obikabia Junction in Aba had long been completed. Work has started on Mboko to Umuobo just by Union Bank Junction in Aba. Umuobo Junction in Aba.
Just by Union Bank. Before Star Paper Mill.
Go there and see what is happening. People are shocked.
I have a concern. We just have barely 2 weeks. In a fortnight, it's going to be Christmas. And prior to that time, we're going to have a heavy inflow of people into Abia State.
Yes.
Ahead of the Christmas. Despite the fact they've said people from outside the country should remain where they are. But who knows how much people will be coming to the state? How are we prepared to manage the influx of people while this construction works are still going on?
We manage. We have always managed. We managed these things when there was nothing, when nothing was on ground. We managed. We will manage too. I hope all things being equal, Governor Ikpeazu will commission today the Abreba Mporo Road, 100% completed, beautiful road done by a strong construction company, Bulletin Construction. Completed today. Yes, unless some other things happen, but that road has been completed from Abreba Junction to Etitiama Mporo, 100% completed within this dry season too. The governor plans to do a road from the Okobo Bridge on the Abamaro-Chukwu Road, from the Okobo Bridge, which was done by this administration, down into Arochukwu within this dry season. It's unbelievable what is happening.
Let's talk about power metric issue, the geometric issue that there was a bit of disagreement between EEDC and geometric and all of that.
Yeah.
In a minute, can you tell us where we are and if there's a timeline?
I do not know if that thing can be captured in 1 minute. The truth is that there has been a contractual imbroglio between the geometric power and EEDC. Something that shouldn't have happened.
What's their area of coverage? I mean, now are supposed to provide power?
The initial arrangement was called a ring fence arrangement. A ring fence within Aba. They were supposed to give light to Aba. Now that was before the power sector reforms. When the power sector reforms came under President Goodluck Jonathan, when they now concessioned the country into different power zones and gave them or sold them to these companies like EEDC, KJ Electrics. Now they went and concessioned the entire eastern Nigeria to EEDC and forgot that they had earlier given a ring fence contract to Geometric. So 2 papers were on the floor. One to Geometric, which was exclusively to generate power in Aba. The other one to EEDC, which covered the entire southeast. So it became a problem. That was meanwhile, Geometric had invested over $350 million already on the contract. It's not a government, it is private. But we are concerned because steady power in Aba will turn the economy of Aba around in 1 year. Now, that has been a problem. But as of today, Governor Ikpeazu has done a lot interfacing with the federal government. Please help us resolve this thing. Even in terms of funding challenges, Governor Ikpeazu made it possible for the Afrexim Bank in Egypt, under the presidency of a Nigerian, Dr. Orama, to work out a funding plan to help Geometric bounce back. Now, the greatest news for the people of Aba is that contractual challenge between EEDC and Geometric has been resolved by the signing of what they call an asset sale agreement, where the entire assets owned by EEDC within not just Aba now, but extended to 9 local governments of Isialangwa North, Isialangwa South, Aba North, Aba South, Osisioma, Ugunabo, Okwa East and Okwa West.
Thank you.
Have been exclusively handed to Geometric. And Professor Naji himself said it with his mouth that 6 months maximum from today, Aba will shine. Uninterrupted, the governor called it uninterrupted and uninterruptible power.
All right. Thank you very much, Chief Press Secretary, barrister in journalism, for actually giving us this expository, bringing us up to speed with the activities of the governor. In the course of the week, we did have the presentation of vehicles and inspection of scoreboard and the commissioning of brand new Zone 9 headquarters of the Nigerian Police. And hopefully next week, Friday, would have to talk with the Chief Press Secretary on more developing issues because we're out of time. Many thanks to the Office of the Chief Press Secretary, Barrister Onyebuchi Ememanka, and of course the executive producer of this program, Samson Eze. My name is Temple Bara. Thank you for listening, and do join us next week, Friday at 9:30 a.m. for another mind-blowing expository session on the activities of the Executive Governor of Abia State, Dr. Okeze Victor Ikpeazu. Have a great day, and bye for now.
At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.